Jerry continues to be the best interview
Yes.
in the minors/majors at the moment.
He
The proclamation that he's been forced to wear
amazing.
trousers of his team is hilarious to me. He is awesome. He is very awesome, and he's a great person on forZe to make you root for the whole team. Now, some of you may not know this, but there was a game, forZe versus Pro. Actually, no, we'll come to it later. Let's focus on Grayhound for now. Grayhound, at the moment, most famous for one of the names of their players. We need to see more than that from them, and they have an opportunity to do that here at the Major. And again, I said that both teams have got quite a reasonable map pool. I mean, look at this. It's pretty good. Again, you have to bear in mind their opposition in these last 3 months, but it's still solid, and they can come into most of these maps with confidence.
Yeah, confidence is an important factor, and knowing that when you play your game, magic can happen. That's an important one. However, that's kind of the name of the game in Counter-Strike as well. When you're up against your opposition, is to try to force them off their game by trying to make cheeky plays and get those opening picks, make it so that they have to go with a plan B as opposed to a plan A. And speaking of force, indeed, I think you make a good point about Jerry. We see his character in the interviews. Obviously, he's not speaking his native language, but he still has a charisma to him. He's very funny. And having a guy like that on your team is really important. And he is, of course, the main man behind the team. You're going to see him sitting in the center and next to FaceCrack, and that's going to be really interesting to see how their dynamic works against the likes of Grayhound. Again, two teams from regions that have never really mixed it, except at tournaments like this. Yeah,
I think that always makes the matchups, especially in a best of one, really, really interesting. So that's going to be. I'm really excited for this matchup. Actually, I remember back in the day when we started doing Oceanic Face-It League, because I gave up Sunday football to commentate those, but it was pretty good fun.
I didn't play football for 3 years.
yeah, basically made me fat. But
you got fat for Oceanic Counter-Strike.
Absolutely, and I loved every second of it. It was pretty damn awesome. But this is going to be a very interesting matchup, something you don't see every day. Now, one of the things the forZe team, the brand is famous for is match against versus Pro, an exhibition match where they had strippers trying to distract them while they were playing. So maybe they can get another highlight in this major to kind of exceed that one. Look it up on the internet. It is a thing that happened. But anyway, Overpass and Dust 2 vetoed by forZe. Inferno and Nuke by Grayhound. They get a third veto, I do believe, since they went second. So we'll see what that one will be as well. There we go, Vertigo taken out, which only leaves 2 maps. We're not going to see Inferno again, which is cool. Nice to see some variation. It's going to be Train. Looking at the statistics, well, I think StarLadder bring them up as well, actually. So I'll see the head-to-head in a second. But I don't think we were going to get a terrible map between these two teams because they both have good stats on the maps. So Train, Grayhound about 75% on 4 maps and forZe 67% on 6 maps.
You can see the most notable, perhaps, results there against Optic and Epsilon, and for the likes of forZe, and TYLOO and Fnatic for the likes of Grayhound. So, definitely a map that both teams have good proficiency on, and obviously Grayhound got to pick the side, and they chose CT, of course. So it's going to be a really interesting one. One of the things that we did notice, I think, from the Cobex event in Mumbai, where Grayhound were expected, I think, to at least, at the very least, make finals against MVP. They had a shocker of a tournament, didn't quite get things going and couldn't quite play the game as they would have liked to. And so I'm hoping that they avoid that situation from happening. That was a while ago, it's a good few months ago. So up against the likes of forZe, you'd imagine that on the CT side, it's a nice and steady start, even if you lose that pistol. So I'm hoping that we will see even keel for both teams. One of the things that impressed me about forZe is they looked quite composed when we did see them. And the minors did prove themselves to be one of the more... I mean, they were a team that didn't have to go through their final day of qualifiers. They managed to make it happen before that, so that was really important. I believe it was the likes of Simon Gaming, Dream Eaters, and INTZ that managed to qualify last there. And one thing I'm looking forward to with forZe is detailed defaults on this T side that we're about to see. a team that also likes defaults on the map like Train. We saw previously Stan's team, Stanislaus NRG, very default heavy, and it's a very effective play style against all opponents if you know how to work it correctly. And one thing about Grayhound as well is that, one thing we have seen, James, in the kind of Asian or Oceanic regions, is that default Counter-Strike, in the way that we see it in Europe and North America, doesn't quite look the same. It's a little bit more loose. So if forZe are able to bring in some of that European flair to their strategy, they should be good to go on that T side.
So you think forZe?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm definitely leaning towards forZe. They've looked like more of a steady contender than what I have seen from Grayhound. But again, it has been some time since we got to see some of these teams play. And it's hard to say, what transformation some teams have gone through when we actually get into the major.
All right, so I think something is being sorted out on the forZe side. So we're going to go to a short break. When we're back, it's match time. We'll see you soon. And we are back, and it seems that the whatever the issue was with forZe has been solved, and we are good to go. Headphones are being put in ears. That's always a good sign. In ears being used. I guess they got the helicopter headsets on. There is a live crowd in this segment, it must be said.
There's still people out there.
Well, I don't know. I'm in here. How would I know?
Oh.
But the point is that there is a live crowd. So if you are in Berlin, you can come along and watch. You can watch the event. There's live commentary in there as well because they got the helicopter headsets on. So all is well. It's pretty good. It's a nice setup out there.
Yeah, it's really cozy.
Yeah, it's
Comfortable
nice.
chairs.
Excuse me.
Counter-Strike. Big screen.
The Counter-Strike part is important. I feel like it's important for the major.
Yeah.
It is pretty damn good. That's an interesting mouse pad. It's got flowers on it.
I hope
It matches the jerseys.
I hope Urcast there is some solution that is at some point available for him. It's definitely a sad story.
What exactly are you talking about?
Urcast, in the interview, he was talking about how his visa, he just can't find a visa to stay in Australia, which obviously means that he will be leaving Grayhound after this tournament. So
go on the run, mate.
Hope there's something available for him. Of course, there is a Counter-Strike scene in Mongolia, but not quite as well known.
I wonder how long it's going to take for esports visas to be a thing, like properly.
It has created huge issues over the years. Huge issues. There's actually, I've repeatedly seen it from actually one of the best Quake 3 players of all time, Cypher. There's constantly tournaments he just can't go to because of visa reasons. It's just so sad.
Yeah, I think one of the problems for countries as well is that anything that they create is going to be abused.
Yeah.
Or people will attempt to abuse it. So that is gonna make progress slow and difficult. But
there's athlete visas going.
We'll get there one day. And into the match we go. Grayhound are going to be starting on the CT side. And forZe will be the aggressors on the T side. XP Power has been dropped to P250. We've got the raid boss on train. I'm happy. I love it.
Indeed. Grayhound obviously didn't get to pick the map, but they get to pick the side. And who wouldn't want to play CT first on a map like train? Well, there's Jerry, the man who is now known by many and is attracting all sorts of fans, but can he attract success here against the likes of Grayhound? Extra power there, trying to harass from Ivy. Keep the attention over there as the forZe team make their moves into the B-bomb side. Damage being accrued, however, they haven't lost any players just yet, but there goes Face Crack. Malta trying to stop him as they wrap around him, and there's only so much he can do before he is dropped, and now there is space for the bomb to be planted, and planted it will be.
In the middle now, how do they defend this in this 3 versus 3? Do they defend with aggression? That's a beautiful shot from Flip. How do he manage that one? XP Power helps him out with a P250 shot, leaving Urcast in a 1 versus 3. And now it's none versus 3. forZe take the pistol on the T side. A sigh of relief maybe. Just a release of pressure as they start on the right foot, the best foot forward. But can they leap? Can they take it in their stride?
And that flick was really critical too, because that allowed Flip to keep a forward position for his team forZe to be able to keep a forward position, and it swung the numbers in their favor in a critical moments. So heavily weighing things towards the likes of forZe. And he's on with Krieg. He's got the biggest gun. He's got the best spawn, but he doesn't quite have the kill. He spots the movement towards the ladder room. So I would imagine that forZe will be able to deal with that very easily with grenades. Jerry only has a smoke though, and doesn't seem to be all that interested in doing all that much except just holding the ground for now.
I love how instant that switch of weapons was from forZe. Flip getting tagged with the scout, now the expendable player. So, excuse me, forZe have... Oh, that's very, very awkward. Dick Stacy caught with a grenade in his hand and he gets taken out. They lose some position now towards that Ivy area. You don't want to keep getting tagged with the scout though. Sicko's on the receiving end on this occasion. Sicko, a storied veteran of his scene, the Oceanic scene. Heard his name for a while. 4 versus 1 now as Dexter is the only man alive for Grayhound. And maybe he just wants to save what he's carrying, which is a solid $2,000. So he can hold on to this and go for an opportunist exit frag if he wants to, but that's a lot of money he's carrying, so might as well try and use it in the next round.
Absolutely. Keep it going, why not? But a great start for forZe again. Grayhound, of course, picked this CT side for Train. forZe, though, I do believe they're around 21st in the world, maybe, at the moment in the rankings. So they're a team that have been at it for some time, been grinding as much as they can. And again, we've seen some of the results of that. And for those of you who are watching who perhaps have not seen it forZe before the Major, or perhaps you're a newer viewer to competitive Counter-Strike in general, hopefully we can find some more insights as to how they play, how they like to structure things. And we get to revel in their successes, should they find it. Grayhound on the other hand as well, much the same. The representation here for the Oceanic region here at the Major. Many, I'm sure, invested in seeing their success as well. This is a pretty good matchup. Stacy there with the USP, not too much he can probably do there with just measly USP. However, the dink comes in as I say that, and some damage has been done. But you can see forZe making progress here through towards the A-bomb train. Looking pretty good there. Nice work from Exapower with that MAC-10, doing exactly what it is supposed to do, which is open up space for the riflers. And Dick Stacy does actually find a kill in the end with that USP, doing excellent amounts of damage. Dexter trying to wrap around the side with the Beagle, however, unable to find too much there, and he will be taken down. So forZe will make sure that the round goes to them as it should. But I would say that given the lack of investment, that was actually a nice round, all things considered, for the likes of Grayhound. But now we will see ourselves the buy from them, and that's when the real Counter-Strikers can begin here on this game of Train between these two. Orpon Sicko does forego the armor, though. Too poor for that. At least they have a couple kits. Sometimes teams sacrifice those. Fast movement coming in from FaceCrack straight towards E-Box. Sicko takes him Flit down. The FaceCrack will take out Malta, who was making his way towards Pop Dog. That's not going to happen. Urkas trying to sneak around the back. This could be a huge moment here for Grayhound. However, can't find his way forwards as that Molotov gets dropped. And back he goes, and he will finally get some success. Exapower still out there doing damage. This is absolute madness from Exapower. Now 2 versus 2.
Oh my god. They've got a combined 8 HP. I've got more fingers than they've got health points.
That's good to hear.
If you include the thumbs. 2 versus 2. The grenades have come and gone, and then the Exapower's gone as well. The bomb is on the A-bomb site. It is between these players. It's sandwiched between Grayhound. CT's looking for their first round, but Jerry with 2 HP could still do this. He just needs to jump on one of these 2 players, and he might get it on Sicko if Sicko looks the wrong way at the wrong time. You can see his barrels conceded his position. He's got half the information, Jerry. Just needs the other half now, and he saw it with the trajectory of the grenade. However, he's missed his opportunity. Still alive with 2 HP. He's got 41 seconds. Does X go forward? Does he go back? The flashbang is absolutely perfect. He had to have had it out already. And there is the round for Grayhounds. That could have really gone either way. Great attempt by Jerry, but nothing doing on this occasion. 2 players survive for Grayhound. So let's see if they can get that consecutive round now. Held on to the AWP, that's important. What a comeback from Exapower as well. The can open up, forcing forZe's way back into the round, but ultimately it would not be enough on this occasion.
But yeah, going down to 2 players though for Grayhound, given that they're going to be 1 to 3 now. All the money's been put on the line, so given that forZe can still go for a full buy, this is a really big moment for forZe to steal away another couple rounds at the very least. If they were to pick up this one, you've got a setup here from Grayhound on Ivy. Dick Stacy is close with the MP9. Sicko is the bait, or maybe he's not. Now this is a problem because Dick Stacy's been spotted. You can see Sicko trying to jump across as the peek comes in. This is not being handled all that well here by Grayhound. I'm surprised that Dick Stacy peeked before the shot at first, and then you can see Sicko trying to reposition in the open. It's not a great start for them, but they will find some small recovery as Malta picks up a kill towards team main.
That's a big headshot from Urkas, taking out the Ivy lurker. Now what does Jerry choose to do? He's used the legs Does he? He doesn't really have any more utility to use. He's not going to fake with the smoke, that's for sure. Malta holds his ground with an MP9. Now, what else is going to happen around the map? You've got Flit actually holding angles towards this position. So Jerry's trying to force him forward, and he does. He baits him out, actually, but he can't get the multi-frag. Flit taken out towards the main position. The bomb is still in control of XC Power, but he's got to be careful about his timing because he can be peaked from high and low, as you can see. Jerry jumping forward. The smoke will actually help him. 23 seconds, though. Has the bomb been spotted in main? Jerry trying to find a sandwich frag, but he can't. That leaves XC Power out of position despite that frag on Dick Stacey. 15 seconds to find 2 players. That's not going to happen. And it's really important he holds on to this AWP if he can. And he'll certainly try to. And at the same time, Grayhound haven't really secured their money. They survived the last round of 2 players. They survived this one of 2 players. And they have no business going for a hunt at the moment. They've got to build their bank.
Yeah, it is an opportunity for forZe, despite forZe being in a situation where, you know, a save could be necessary. You see, time being called there by Neil M. So what is the plan here? Grayhound take the tactical. You can see that's Neil M. Obviously, there's something he's seen something he really wanted to talk to the team. And forZe, they've got some interesting decisions to be made. They can opt to go for a full save, even though they know Greyhound's economy is very weak, and just play around the AWP and just try to at least get another 2-3 kills, keep the pressure up on the economy, then have a full buy. Or they could decide to go all in. And they've decided to go all in. And you can see here, this is the downside of going all in with the situation they're in. Yeah, they have the AWP, but they don't have quite enough money to have any other rifles to go with that. So they're going to rely on the pistols. But again, it's not just rifles they're lacking. Utility is also lacking here for forZe.
Area control for Grayhound at the beginning. Timing grenade towards upper B. And XC Power looks for the first engagement. He's got a teammate in tow, and they're going to be forced away by this Molotov, it seems. XC Power still holding on to the AWP. 43 HP now. Almeza with a 1 dig down to 5 HP. He gets taken out, but 4 versus 4. Can't really complain. All they've lost is a pistol. forZe. XC Power. He wants a peek in main. Now, Grayhound know there's an AWP holding an angle somewhere. If they can avoid these angles, then maybe they can win this round. But they need to win it with numbers of lives. They've lost a player already. They don't want to lose many more. Moving down into the B-bomb site now. The Molotov will come too late. But Dexter can try and separate these players, but he's been taken out. And now FaceCrack's got an AK-47 holding the connector area. And maybe this round is winnable.
It's looking more than just winnable at this rate. It's looking straight up favorable here for forZe, especially with that smoke and FaceCrack so close. He can run shenanigans here, try to push through it. Oh no, he's going to spot at the very least Sicko, and he's just holding his position here in the flank. They have no idea he's there. He can wait for a clean engagement. There it is. Leaving all the work to Urcast here. He has a kid. Oh, he's got a second kill, but there it is from the flank. FaceCrack finishes it off.
From the flank.
It was a good effort from Urcast, but simply not enough. Grayhound, their money, as you say, as we've been focusing on, is just been terrible, and they are going to be forced to a save round. Good work from forZe with that force buy.
That's a disaster. That's a disaster for Grayhound. Again, the rounds they won, they survived with 2 players. It's not enough. They lose a hero AWP round with help from a 1dig as well. And, excuse me, now they've got no money. So this is not the start they wanted. This is a really rough start for the CT side of Train in a best of 1, no less, when you're trying to go 1-1, not 0-2. But it's still early. This is only round number 7, and we don't know what forZe's anti-eco will be like. FaceCrack doing a good job so far, keeping the CTs honest to some degree. Taking out the multi-push attempt, and there's only one player, that's a question mark now. He spotted one guy on the A-bomb site, so there's only one person we don't know the location of, and that won't last very long. Headshot from Jerry. And that's a pretty swift round for forZe. 5-2. Good stuff for them, but terrible for Grayhound.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. forZe are playing quite well. Obviously, as you say, you know, that's saved AWP, and the force buy around it was such a big loss. You know, the reason forZe went for it, you know, they knew that that force play, that is. The reason they went for it is because they knew that Grayhound were weak. And this is the benefit of winning that round. You get a free one afterwards, and you get some economy secured yourself. And if Grayhound, if they lose this one, they are going to be down 7-2 effectively, because they're going to be having to go for a full eco again. Pressure with that forward smoke from Extra Power. However, Grayhound will still stay 4 strong on that A-bomb site as forZe rotate in towards B. Could be a rude awakening here for the likes of Dexter. He is alone, but committed in this forward position. Good start, though.
Yeah, it's a good hold from Dexter. Falls back. What was that grenade? I think he was supposed to bounce off of the train to go towards the sidewalk. Either way, they're still holding on to this B bomb site. Okay, we've got stereo frags for forZe, and there's a minute 10 on the clock, so they don't need to plant the bomb just yet. They need frags. Jerry with a big one on Sicko. There is a flank coming in, but again, he's got a minute to play with in this 1 versus 2. He hasn't heard Malta. Not quite going to go for a deep peek. He's going to commit to the bomb plant here. There's no idea where these players are, but he's got a chance to plant the bomb at least. But now he's kind of trapped on the bomb side. There's only so many places he can be, but he still managed to dance around towards this position. Was he spotted from the back? There's the 1v1, pulling out the AK once again. Oh, he's got an angle. The elevated smoke, but Malta's further away, so he'll get the frag. Again, only 1 player surviving for Grayhound, and with the money on forZe and the bomb plant, there's going to be more pressure to come, but a round is a round, and it's the 3rd round for Grayhound.
Yeah, great work from Jerry, getting that 3K in the round to really make this one sting. Such a big difference between surviving with 3 and surviving with 1, obviously. So with the bomb down and the money that was already in the bank for forZe, they will have a nice fall buy in this one. And I can't imagine, well, I can imagine exactly what Grayhound are going to be stuck with. Once again, it's going to be a very suboptimal situation on the buy. Well, it's not very suboptimal. You know, you get the MP9s and UMPs if you really want full utility. We'll see, though, that Dexter and Cass will opt for buys in which they don't have the full utility.
Problem, there is 1 flashbang for Grayhound.
Oh, wow, yeah, only 1 flash.
So in a situation where you're light on utility, you may want to use what you have to, say, take a main away from the T side and try and force him into less than ideal situation. But 1 flashbang at the beginning of the round, that's going to be hard to do. And that flash has been used already, so it's just going to be dry peaks and the odd Molotov if Grayhound are to make a forward play. We've got Dexter high risk in this situation. We've seen peaks in previous matches. Lovely jiggle from Jerry, but he hasn't got a frag in him on this occasion, so Dexter manages to hold. So some risk was needed, and that's the risk they took. In the meantime, Almezas, he smoked off the middle of Ivy, which has to be a mistake, surely. There are some bits of the ceiling which can thwart your smoke grenades, because normally you'd throw the smoke down one side of Ivy, Molotov the other to deny information, but as you can see on the radar, he Molotov the middle of Ivy. Either way, no one's over there. And Sicko's looking for an engagement, and the T's start to move in.
Dexter's pushed for the flank, though. He's going all the way around to T main, so he's walking all the way here. So there's a real big urgency for forZe to push down the bomb towards the bomb train as quickly as possible. The bomb plant's actually going to come in before the flank can make it there. That's perfect here for forZe. And what's even more perfect is that Sicko is dead. There's nobody to draw attention away from this flank now. It's not really a flank at this point.
Did you see the giant sigh on Dexter's face when his teammate died there?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it could have been so much, but you had to go and ruin it. Now, oh, he's actually going to get the second frag as well. I didn't think he'd get there in time, but the communication wasn't fast enough, and it's a 1 versus 1. He doesn't have a kit, though. He's got to draw out face crack, and he's got to do it fast, because otherwise he's got no chance, but there it is. Has he got time to get the defuse, though? It's going to be a close one. He's not sure, and neither am I.
Oh, it's so close. Dexter, come on. Oh, God. Oh, so unfortunate.
Man.
What a heroic effort. And one thing is that I'm super impressed by is how clean that was. It could have gotten a little bit gnarly there when you get to the second player, and the second player knows more or less where you're coming from, but he still nails that kill. And not only that, I love how he gets that information. He hears one step, his crosshair placement immediately, and then he just waits with perfect crosshair placement on the third player. We might just see that here as we look at the highlight package.
Oh, he's
Indeed,
got 6 bullets as well.
Beautiful crosshair placement there from Dexter. Such a great round. He deserved to win it. And he was denied by the slimmest of margins, but such a great effort. And that could be absolutely pivotal here, though, James. It's a situation in which Grayhound had spent everything again. So now forZe are looking at a 7-3. We get that old stack there towards Old Bomb.
If
and
he was,
Jerry just annihilated everyone.
If Dexter was one step forward, if he was one step forward in that round, if he was just like a centimeter forward, he probably wins that round.
Yeah, I mean, he performed that so quickly as well. With what, like, given everything, he played that as perfectly as you could imagine.
Yeah.
So huge credit to what Dexter was able to do there. Really impressive. Very unfortunate result though. And forZe still looking pretty dominant in this one. 15-6 on FaceCrack. He's true to his name, James.
Indeed, he is. 7-3 for forZe, and I referenced the that game with the strippers earlier, which somebody tweeted me a picture of. I retweeted it, so check it out if you are unfamiliar. There's well, there's no time to talk about it now, really, is there? Sicko having a look towards the main position, looking for something. So many different places you can peek this from. Nice to watch TYLOO on the CT side of train as well. In fact, well, again, there's no time. XC Power had a chance to get a frag there. Didn't quite work out for him, but he's got a reasonable amount of information. But I don't know if forZe can really do anything with that. Weren't in a position to do so. Go TV pick. Who would you pick out of these guys?
I would probably pick... I'd probably go with...
Come on, make it snappy.
Extra Power, given that he's AWPing.
Given that he's dead.
And he's zoning everyone with that AWP on that T side. Nice cleanup there from Jerry as he makes his entries towards the A-bomb train. Cass has been spotted towards Sandwich, and absolutely he has been called. You can see two players looking either side. It's not many places to go, but he does find the weakened Jerry. Takes him down, but that's going to be a wrap. forZe 8-3, and a faster pace round into the A-bomb side is the order of that round, and it certainly works a treat.
Marvelous stuff. This is a horrible half so far for Grayhound. Again, in the rounds they won. 2 of the rounds they won, they survived with 2 players. Ultimately, they got wiped out, and it just hasn't been there for them, despite the best efforts of Dexter. A really noble effort in a bad situation. Highlight in a failed round. And now they're on eco. There's a lot of deagles here for the CT side. Malta has been tagged early. Jerry will force any potential CTs back on high ground with that Molotov. Maybe the earlier engagement conditioning him to use more utility. How about that? Dexter's just on fire today, isn't he? And maybe there's another round in Grayhound if he can continue to activate. FaceCrack being real careful. And Flip might have his back, or maybe not. Oh, that was almost falling to pieces. Dropping the rifle for his teammate and collecting another one, it seems. Down he goes. He'll be heard going into the B bomb site. And this is turning into a catastrophe for forZe. They've barely got an answer to these frags.
However, they do have a free B bomb site, and the bomb is going to go down. So even though Flit's in a 1 versus 3, his opponents have no Kevlar. Well, there is an AWP on Sicko, which is quite dangerous. But he will find his way up the ramp. He's got full utility here. Oh no, what's going on? This is very risky. Ooh. Sicko with one nails him. Absolutely nailed him to the ground with that deagle. And oh, looks like Grayhound are going to pick up a very unlikely round. And maybe that is just karma, considering some of the work that's been done. Dexter, he's really trying to force his will onto these rounds, James. And finally it's worked.
I really hope one of these deagles is called Good A. I've never actually heard an Australian person say that outside of like Neighbours or Home and Away. So, but still, I mean, for me, just do it. That was that's quite the round. Sometimes that's the round you need.
Yeah.
Sometimes that is the round you need. Dexter refuses to lose, man. He refuses to lose. Now let's see what they can do if they can turn things around. We've got Neil M giving some words of encouragement, and it's really interesting seeing Neil M in this position, because on the UK, I think it was the UK Facebook group. He used to make all these videos with all this kind of just hilarious, the most hysterical smack talk. So to see him in a serious position now is pretty cool. But those were high entertainment. I'm sure people like Sliggy and Henry will be and Keita will be familiar with those. Very, very entertaining stuff. But anyway, 4-8. Grayhound pick up some toys in that previous round, and maybe they can turn things around. FaceCrack is on the Mac 10 now. There's no money for forZe if they lose this round. And there's only Urcast without a helmet, so we'll see how this plays out. Molotov's another utility into that main position. One player spotted hopping left, hopping right. Sicko by the stop sign for now. XC Power going for the wall bangs towards the connector position, but nothing doing just yet.
Starting to maneuver towards the upper areas of B now. Mr. Facecrack, Mr. Jerry. Doing so quite quietly, and indeed now it's a 4-man effort. And this can be really strong when there's no AWP, but we can see that Sicko is making his way with an AWP. This move can get blown up pretty hard by an AWP if it's on point, and we'll see if that's the case, or if there's to be any distraction, anything to cause Sicko to move away. And how long will he even hold this position for? That's the timing is also somewhat cruel sometimes, but there he goes. Makes an easy one. The flashbang comes in. That's a great trade, a much-needed trade, and that's the bomb down too.
Jerry chooses to stand his ground. Now, Mesa is still entertaining on the A bomb site where there are 2 players, but he'll be eliminated. Now, Grayhound will not feel like they're in position, I'm sure, to go for this. Urkas picks up the AK-47, goes back into A, but in the meantime, his teammate has gone through Ivy towards the T side of it. So this is another safe situation for Grayhound. And again, this is an important round for forZe to win to keep the pressure up, because once more they were running out of cash, as you can see. But Grayhound's money's never been in the right place in this half. And again, they're surviving with 2 players, but this time losing the round rather than winning it.
Yeah, it's not a good look. forZe having too much success on the T side for any degree of comfort. And Greyhounds, you know, what are they going to do to mix this up? We talked about how difficult it is to find options on train as CT side.
It could be better if you get yourself some nice trading cards. Get that 99 on device, that 86 on Kenny S, and maybe Dan, your life will be made easier. Epics.gg.
Greyhounds being focused, refocused there in the small intermission between rounds and play, and Sicko on that AWP. Can he have a good round here with that? Speaking of orbs, there's a connection onto Malta, trying to hold on to these forward positions around E-Box and towards Pop Dog. Sicko stuck behind Sir Molotov towards the upper positions of B just there, and he'll be unchained as he takes a peek, but no one's there. And Jerry coming in towards a delayed timing, so that's quite smart actually. Of course, teasing the outer bomb site.
It's a nice Molotov at a sandwich position. Definitely one to pick up in the demo, because that is a nuisance position if you're a T.
Now, just cutting noise, seeing if there's any counter utility coming in from the CT side. Cutting noise is also useful when you pressure, just because it might force CTs to rotate 2 or an additional player back towards the other sites. But there's a quick headshot from Urkas. Oh my goodness. Decimating that push towards ladder room, and now he'll get some quick assistance coming in from Dexter from the B-bomb side as the flank is activated. And it's a 2 versus 4 for the likes of forZe. It's going to take a very interesting series of events here to make, you know, if they were to try to turn this one around, but it looks like it's now down to extra power, so that chance is significantly dropped.
Nervous shot perhaps, not really delivering the frag there. 22 seconds to do as much damage as possible. Did he spot the player close in Dick Stacey? I'm not sure if he did. And Dexter will take him out. Do they want a second AWP? That is the question. The answer is yes. As we move into the last round of the first half, 5-9, Grayhound closing the gap despite their financial troubles. And now the troubles will be with forZe. Flit will be able to pick up an AWP and drop it to his teammate. But it will be a mixed bag. Getting that second kill while there's a body landing on his head is quite impressive. Talk about vision obscured. Now, will this be some kind of fast round from forZe? I wonder. Yes, they have an AWP, but with 2 pistols, maybe they want to take a risk and do something. Then again, maybe not. You can see the spread. 3 players towards the IV position. Jerry had somewhere to be, but he's never going to make it there. Not in this half.
Indeed, not in this half. Flit there looking over the smoke. Not a bad play, but no CT to be found. Now forZe make their way towards Olofmeister. Sicko takes down extra power. Facecrack is forced to move forwards, but the peek from Dick Stacey is timed well. And that is going to be the end of Facecrack, leaving just 2 towards Ivy, and looking like a recovery from Greyhounds. All things considered, you know, if they're able to, and they're very likely to here, get this 6th round, that is a nice spot to be, considering how bad the start of this was. Stacy will soften him up. Quick HE there to finish him off. And he's just going to do some additional damage. And it's an inevitable finish to this one, I think, James. There we go.
Indeed. forZe running out of steam at the end of the first half. Can they find electricity in a second? Find out after the break.
And here we are, back in it once again, the second half, the final half here on this stream for us here today. And it's about Grayhound and whether or not they can mount a comeback, because forZe were looking pretty damn good on that T side, and as they move into the CT side, forZe with 9 rounds already to speak of for themselves will surely be quite confident.
That knife looks enormous. Looks oversized, king size.
Wouldn't be legal in the UK, that's for sure.
Well, it's not legal. It's not illegal to
carry
own
around.
one, but it's illegal to buy one or to bring one into the country. So if you already had one, then that's okay, because they have them in France, but not in the UK. Stacy makes his way up towards the IV position, or tries to. He'll win the duel with the Glock. The range of the USP not really working out there for Almeza. And there's another one for Monsieur Stacy. We've got a 3... Well, oh, okay, this is a fast-moving one. 2 versus 3 now in favor of Grayhound. Flit trying to hold things down from the connector position. Not being given a 1 versus 1. There's Sicko taken out. The bomb's dropped for the time being. Cass has got it now, and Flit's on 13 HP. They seem to know where he is. Going for the pot shots under the train, but he won't quite find the angle. Running away now. He will easily be heard. There's only so much he can do. It's a pretty bad spot for Flit. You've got Malta quietly taking the high ground, and there's a player by E-Box, Cast. So what does he choose to do? Cast can hold old bomb from this position as well. And maybe he'll take one in the air if he went towards the ladder room. Flit's made his way out somehow, only to get eliminated. And there is the pistol round for Greyhound. The score is made closer.
Indeed, but they still have to pass the test of what could be a force buy round with that bomb plant from the likes of forZe. Sorry, what am I saying with the bomb plant? Being on the CT sides, especially with the lead, going for that force buy can be quite fun, especially on this map. This map, much like Inferno, if you force buy on the CT side, you know, it's actually a lot. There's a lot you can work with. We actually saw triple scouts earlier today from the likes of NRG, worked out for them. Double scouts here for forZe. And Almeza might have spotted something. Yeah, there you go. Tags onto Cass, finished off by Face Crack. And that scout could do more work yet. They will challenge Almeza, falling back with 8 HP from the IV position. More scout tags to be had as they are doing so much damage. Oh my god, there's chunks being taken out of these Grayhound players left and right until only one remains. Stacy against 2. Oh my god, and 1 scout shot will do it. A meaty deke shot or 2 will do it.
That's a wild round, isn't it? He's got time to play with. He can move back, hide, and reset the situation. Maybe he puts 1 per site. Unless the CTs think that they got into good enough positions soon enough. Well, they have the bomb. So that's pretty much the check. Not quite the mate just yet. 50 seconds remain for Stacy, and he has the best gun on the server. But now there are 2 scouts to deal with. One's inside the main position, and Flit, oh, says hello around the Pop Dog area. There is one, but where is the other one? Look at Flit rotating, beautiful stuff. I think Almeza just saw Dick Stacey as well as he makes his way forward. Almeza looking one way. There we go. Now, he doesn't seem to have any idea that Flit could be in the same position, and there he is, a Deagle no less. Headshot, double figures for forZe, and again, just like in the first half, it's almost a mirror. It's Groundhog Day. Disaster for Grayhound early.
Yeah, that really sucks. Very strong force buy. They got so many scout tags as Grayhound came through the Ivy position, and there simply wasn't enough here for Greyhounds to deal with that. Oh man, Dick Stacey had to get the ace to stand a chance to win the round, and it's going to be the pistols, the force buy back from Grayhound. They don't want to allow forZe to get a grip of this CT side. We'll see if they have a choice in the matter. Flashbang into Ivy. Almeza will spot a follow-up. Smoke on Sandwich, smoke on E-Box for Grayhound. Perhaps trying to get some counter utility out of the CT side, but they are not throwing anything. Well, looks like the spray comes in from Exapower. He's still alive. He's fine, it seems.
Yeah, but Greyhound aren't too far ahead of this choke point. That said, they've got a nice headshot on Exapower. Jerry trying to do some work, and he will with that MP9. And suddenly, Sicko's the only man standing, the last man to fall for Greyhound. 11 rounds in the bag for forZe, and their bag continues to grow. $2,000 per person for Greyhound, so it's going to be a long road back. It's going to feel like one at the very least. This is a chance for forZe to build some money. $3,000 to $3,500, and you can see the odds on GG bet extend for Greyhound, 7.42. If you believe, then, well, there are the odds. Almeza still has the scout. AWP can be collected in due course, but the scout versus no armor will be a one-shot in the right position. Excuse me. Very satisfying as well. Great timed HE.
Ooh.
Look at that damage. That is well over 100. Dick Stacey jumps to his doom as well, off the plank maybe, and they're getting taken out high and low. But maybe there's a chance of planting a bomb. The Molotov won't come in time. Maybe the HE would have done the job, but that's a much-needed bonus money for Greyhound. So I think maybe they didn't know someone was on the site already, but there we go. If the HE went there instead, then who knows what might have happened. Only one play taken out for forZe, so the money continues to go up, generally speaking. There's a delay in a defuse, maybe to allow someone to collect something. It's nice to let your sniper defuse the bomb as well to get that bonus money for defusing the bomb. And the bomb has indeed been defused.
forZe looking really comfy. Super comfy right now. On the recliners, feet up. They be lounging. But here comes the buy from Greyhound. Up onto Sicko once again. And double ops here for forZe. Face crack 24 for 12, actually. Not a bad look for him at all. So I wonder if we'll see any shenanigans here from the double ops of forZe. Or if they just try to play things standard and just react off of Greyhound, as oft you do on the CT side of Train. It's hard to get aggressive. You can take away team main, maybe poke into Ivy, but beyond that, it's difficult to do too much more. Maybe an inner push if you're really crazy. Two-man setup on B. That's one of the AWPs there on Exapower, looking up. So pretty decent setup for forZe. They can handle everything, and that's a good start. Jerry takes down Dexter, and that is not how Greyhound wanted this to go.
Flash take the sniper off the angle and reveal the position. There's some confirmation was needed. 1 minute on the clock. Nice pop flash. There's no response. Oh, well, actually, that's quite the response, isn't it? The AWP from Sicko. 4 versus 4 now. Does that invite face crack to go up the ladder? Got to be careful because he doesn't have any cover from main were he to go up this ladder. You have to be really careful about his position. He does have Jerry and Pop Dog, which certainly helps. Speaking of looking over the smoke, the T's are going to do exactly that. However, sicko's fallen off, and that's the sound cues that the CTs need. They must realize that there are 2 players there. However, look at the clock. 30 seconds on the clock. No one is really too close to the bomb, and that bomb needs to get planted. Someone has to go and collect that. 25 seconds in a 4 versus 3 to make it 2. Do they gamble and go for elimination? You can see Malta rotating to collect that bomb. Dick Stacey taken out in the meantime. FaceCrack and Flit still alive, wondering what exactly is going on. We've got Urcas getting taken out, and now it is a race car for the bomb to get planted on the A bomb site. There might not be enough cover. We've got a player on the site as well, and only now is Malta coming through the choke point. I think Grayhound have made a mistake throwing a grenade, getting spotted. Maybe there's a chance. It's too late to plant the bomb, but is FaceCrack going to face? He's not. And there is a timeout of victory. That bomb was left alone. It was neglected. And it forced their hand on the A bomb site.
And Malta died after time. It can't get much worse than that. FaceCrack, he's been so strong, my goodness, picking up those 2 kills. And you can see the desperation play forwards. Flick gets one from the bomb train, and it all fell to pieces. And there's 2v3, or 3v2, I should say. FaceCrack with a triple. 27 for 12 now. Goodness gracious me. All right, we've got a save from Greyhounds. Malta stuck on just a Glock and nothing else.
Just a Glock.
Kind of sucks to be in that position, but...
It's like going to a buffet, but you can only eat the salad.
C'est la vie.
6-round lead for forZe. Will the Molotov, will the incendiary be well timed? Maybe well enough. The bomb falls by the ladder. Flit looking up. Mr. Stacey wants to do what he can. sicko's on the way down as well. Stacey's gone. The cavalry is here for the CTs. The horses trampling on the bodies of the paupers at Grayhound. No mercy from the rich. forZe with double the score of their opponent. They're in a pretty good position. Same cannot be said for Grayhound, but it's not too late just yet. They've got the money to buy. The AWP is out for sicko. You've got a Krieg on Malta as well. 2 scopes on the 5 players.
Here we go once again. forZe haven't really needed to do anything untoward. They haven't really needed to take any risks on the CT side so far. Typically, a T side will likely need to create an argument. Create an argument for you to do that. So I just smash my mic into the table. As you do, as Exipower does. So speaking of taking some risks here, Exipower is going to go forward here, covering for Flit. Does also have Jerry in tow, so they are actually going a bit crazy here. And this boost, oh, caught on as he jumps up, but still gets the kill. And then once you do that, you got to fall back because you know that the T side, they've got to press on the other side of the map now. They haven't got anything else. forZe have full information.
Ooh, Almeza standing in the fire until he's got 2 HP left, really waiting for that peak. Once into position, and Dick Stacey will get caught throwing another grenade by FaceCrack this time. 4 versus 2. Really rough spot for Grayhound. They don't have Dexter to clutch on this occasion. sicko and Urcas remain. Lots of scoping going on. They've got a lot of time on the clock though, so they can do this, Grayhound, but it won't be easy, and it gets even harder. Urcas going up the ladder, falling off the ladder. That is an accident at work, but there's no insurance here. Match point for forZe, and plenty of them.
Yeah, looking so good at this point. 15-7, they are poised to take this money not perfect here for Grayhound Gaming. As you guys can see, the MAC-10 for Malta. sicko not really in much better shape as far as the money goes, so we'll see what he decides to go for. He gets himself the AK, and he will be lacking helmets. That is the sacrifice he has made. Once again, forZe, I mean, we saw them mix things up, run some shenanigans in the previous round. Actually worked out. And Greyhounds, what's the play here? We've got 2 moving towards Ivy pretty fast. Dick Stacey with the kill onto FaceCrack. And a trade there from Grayhound and Ivy. So looking good for them at this point. They are going to keep running that pace as high as possible. And Flit's on the bomb side. He's got flicks for days. Let's see what he can accomplish here as he gets shot in the back of the head. All right, Grayhound, they speed things up. They get success.
What does Exipower choose to do? FaceCrack's low on money. So if he can hold on to this, then he can drop a weapon. Grayhound got no cash in the bank. So how much? Well, okay. That didn't quite work out. Thank you for AWP, and goodbye. That did not quite work out. Again, save one weapon, got a full buy next round. So they may be lacking in... Oh, no, they've got AWP. We'll see if there's something on the floor for Face Crack. Okay, I don't know, something just collapsed in the second commentary room. I don't know what's going on over there.
How did Henry say? We cool? So, yeah, that was interesting.
Great, good stuff, lads. Cheers. Face Cracks on the MP9. He is left short due to the lack of weaponry. Jerry just walking to his doom, not expecting Malta there. Big hello from Malta. And Dick Stacey's got some issues here on the IV position, although forZe will try to avert more variants by moving away. In the meantime, Almaze is being picked off, so forZe are in a lot of trouble in this situation.
This is all their money too. They're trying to save here. They're trying to get out of there. Oh my god, and they might just be able to do it. However, Greyhounds, well, they pursue. Their money's not the greatest, but you know what? They're done if they lose a round anyway, so could always commit one player to see if they can get a kill or two, make things a bit more difficult for forZe. But seems like ramping up the pace is really working out for them. And in doing so, they're really going to commit forZe to play 4 players a bit tighter on that A-bomb side, so we'll see if that's going to be the result. Face Crack, only man with health now, just as weak as his teammates, and in a huge degree of trouble. Exopower trying to defend, and indeed the hunt continues. Face Crack tries to find the timing on the peak with the MP9. It's great at juggling positions such as that, and he somehow escapes even a single bullet. It's like they will survive with 3. Not bad at all.
I'm amazed they survived with 3 players, considering how that round played out. Very impressive stuff. But here we go. 6 more match points for forZe. See what they can do, what they choose to do. They will buy around what they saved, of course. That was a very bizarre round. We'll see what happens in this one. Grayhound with plenty of pressure. You see Malta making his way into ladder room. Jerry had no idea, no expectation. Man like Malta. But is it too little too late? The odds would say yes. But maybe they can impose their will and say no. This time Jerry will be a lot faster into the ladder position. And Exopower is going to get punished this time. Previously, we saw some jiggle picking being punished by Grayhound on the receiving end of those AWP shots, but the money's not there for forZe. And it's a 5 versus 4 for Grayhound.
Indeed. Somehow they found the gear. They found the right gear to go to. I don't know where it was earlier, but hey, the match is still going. So even if it happens right at the last possible moment, that's all you need. Face Crack trying to navigate some of these oncoming explosives, oncoming ordnance. Jerry forced back there. I don't think he was heard. Oh my, that's a free one. Jerry loves a freebie.
Yeah. He does indeed. And again, Grayhound are in a position where they can't really afford too many mistakes like that, because too many will soon be fatal. 3 versus 4 now in favor of forZe, and Almaze moves towards E-box position. The kills keep coming in for the CTs. Still with a man advantage, 30 seconds, and Grayhound don't really know the climate at the bomb site. We've got players moving towards the IV position with the scout. Face Crack needs to stay alive now. Can't stop the plant from going down in from his position. Can waste some time from Sicko, though, who's carrying the bomb. We've got one of the 2 players spotted by Connector for forZe. Now, do they choose to pursue? They could go for the boost. It would be kind of obvious, but again, one of these players has got to plant the bomb. Sicko's still peeking with the AWP, but he's got the bomb. 7 seconds left now. Is it going to be enough? He's getting sprayed underneath the floor, and that's it. Flick can run away and win the game by timeout. Unbelievable stuff. 16-9 for forZe.
Wow, you don't see that too often. Winning the game with that spray, I thought that the plant was going down, but instead it was Greyhound's chances going down to 0% in this game of train against the likes of forZe, and they will join the other teams on that 0-2 scoreline. That is not the best, but for forZe, and for all of you that are fans of forZe, you're definitely going to be happy. That was a good performance from them, Jace. They didn't really feel like they had to stretch themselves all that much.
Yeah. Face Crack going 29-15, just shy of the 30 bomb. Malta with 8 frags in that entire series, and bearing in mind 2 of them were in that ladder room play in the round prior. That wasn't a great performance from him. A difficult game from Grayhound, though, overall, in fairness, and they did start on the CT side, which was very much of a bumpy ride for them. So it was a difficult game of Counter-Strike for them. But again, forZe, they impressed in the minors, they impressed in the interviews, and they continue to do so, at least in that one. They look strong, and they came out of it strong as well. So I think that's some confidence after losing your first game. They could take that and move into their matches to come in the days to come. But for Grayhound 0-2, not a good start.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit disjointed. I think that's one of the things against forZe. forZe are a pretty good team. The fact that they got so many rounds on the T side in the manner that they did was really encouraging. We saw a lot of situations where Grayhound couldn't really keep their players alive when they were winning rounds, which obviously is always an issue as your economy gets ruined. It's so important on terrain. And here are the stats. We saw FaceCrack really pulling in the numbers. You can see there finishing things with a 99.4 ADR, not too shabby at all. Actually powered a dedicated sniper close behind him on 86. And Sika, the sniper for Grayhound, the only one from his team to make an appearance on this scoreboard.
Yeah, and these two teams have never played each other before, so if you bear that in mind, I think it's going to be it's a very difficult spot for a team like Grayhound to be ready for a team like forZe, like stylistically and in terms of location and so on. That is going to be a shock to the system no matter what you do, all the way from Australia. So respect for Grayhound. They're always going to be up against it, situationally, just based on the region they're from. But again, there's more Counter-Strike to come for both these teams, so no one is out of it just yet.
Yeah, it was interesting to see, forZe and how they're playing on train so far today. Obviously, moving forwards, I wouldn't be too surprised if we see more train. A lot of teams like to play it. It's in their wheelhouse. It's one of the more commonly seen maps. So here are the scores on the doors, and we can see TYLOO, Complexity, INTZ on the 0-2s, and Grayhound will be one of the newest team to join them here today.
Damn, Fury went 1-1. Rip the 3-0 picks. I guess Mousesports, of the ones that remain with 2-0, I think Mousesports is probably the team that most people are going to have for a 3-0, if anybody.
Yep.
So Rip the 0-3s, apart from potentially Grayhound, maybe, or INTZ. I don't know. It's been an interesting day at Counter-Strike. Started with some huge upsets for sure.
Yeah, Vitality were, I think, ruined the most pick'ems. I think, Vitality being the highest rated team were most people's 3-0s, for obvious reasons. So you can see the scores as they have happened here, and it's been interesting. It's been an interesting day of Counter-Strike, James. It's been a long one, but we've had some. It's always good to see.
It's been emotional.
Yeah, it's good to see how teams and players are performing out of the gate on day one. Sometimes there's some jitters. Sometimes there's just acclimatizing to the way the setup works in a new location. Some players are better than others when it regards to that, but ultimately, I think we saw a good range from all the teams here. Yeah,
and props to Crazy. I look forward to seeing. I mean, they're in a very good position now. They're in a 2-0 spot, so massive props to them. I can't wait to see how their story plays out at this major, and it may continue tomorrow.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's such a cool thing to see a team of such amazingly talented players from a region we don't see as represented coming through and just showing everyone that they are here to compete. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and here are the matches tomorrow based on the wins and losses today. So we will be opening with NRG versus Simon Gaming, Vitality versus Dream Eaters, and you can see the rest of the matchups. Furia versus forZe will be an interesting one for me. G2 Mousesports, I think, is one that stands out as well. North versus Crazy as well, I'm interested to see. I think those are the three matches of that lineup which are the most curious for me.
Yeah, and I'll have to look back tomorrow or tonight if I have any energy left in me, but I think North may have played Crazy, and Crazy are extremely. They're a team that caused problems to teams like North, so that's going to be a great matchup for sure. Definitely agree with you. NRG and Simon, that's going to be interesting to see as well. Obviously, Simon taking down Vitality, you would have thought.
Yeah, people are going home tomorrow. It's going to be a very brief stay in Berlin for some of these teams.
Yeah.
Very brief indeed.
And for some of these teams, like the process to get here, it's so long. You got to play so many games and qualifiers. It's just madness. And as you say, if it's cut short, that's nothing short of depressing.
Yeah, a long time to lament and just think about the failures. Nobody wants that, but someone's going to get them, and we'll find out who tomorrow, at least of the initial teams. So indeed, an interesting day of Counter-Strike. Let us know how your pick'ems have gone so far. My 3-0 and 0-3 are both in the bin, but there's still a chance to get those 5 pick'ems correct. Who did you pick for 3-0 and 0-3?
My 3-0 was Mousesports, and the 0-3 was Dream Eaters.
Okay, so you still have a chance of Mousesports at the very least. Again, let us know how you guys have done so far. We are done for today. we will be back tomorrow, which is also today, for more Counter-Strike. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow the channel. We will see you later on. Goodbye.